Now let's see how to use ModRewrite in order to rewrite URLs. And the reason we want to do this is I've created a test page, test fetch image, and I'm going to use it to view an image from the database. So here's an image from the database, here's another image, and so on. And this URL works fine, but most search engines aren't going to index it. And the reason is because this looks like a script with a get parameter on it. And there can be an infinite number of these things. So search engines try to avoid them. And also it's a little more complicated to tell somebody how to type this in because it has a question mark and it has an equal sign and so on. It's a little complicated. So wouldn't it be nice if we could instead access this image like so? And then we could just tell them to go to localhost and so on /image/5. Well, if I actually tried to create a URL like this, I would have a problem because that would expect there to be a document or a file called 5 inside of an image folder inside of share. And that's not really what I have at all. I need to have a PHP script that fetches stuff from the database here. So how do I actually take this URL and convert it to something that works? Like so. That's what ModRewrite does. So ModRewrite will automatically rewrite URLs that match certain patterns so that the browser can load a simple URL, but the back end can serve a more complicated URL. So it's a little glue between PHP and the browser. So this is something that happens in the web server in Apache before PHP gets called. And in fact, you can rewrite any URL that is being fetched from the web server, not just PHP pages. So let's go ahead and install this. And I'm going to start with my XAMPP control. So in XAMPP control, I'm going to right click and run as administrator. And I'm going to go ahead and stop Apache. Now, this is a configuration setting for the web server, not for PHP. So under config, I'm going to select Apache httpd.conf. And if you want to find this file manually, it actually lives in the Apache folder under conf, httpd.conf. So I'm going to start by finding mod under rewrite, just to see if it's loaded or not. And here's a long list of modules that can be loaded into Apache. ModRewrite is in this list, and it's not commented out, so that means it's getting loaded, which is what I want. And then, are there any other occurrences? No. So that's it. So I'm going to create a new IF module. And then I'm going to turn the rewrite engine on. And then I can start writing rewrite rules. So I'm going to write a rewrite rule. And this has two parts. So it has a pattern I want to match, and then a URL I want to replace it with. And then you can add some optional flags as well. So the pattern I want to match is I want to start with the beginning of the URL. And this is same kind of regular expression syntax that we used in PHP Storm to find and replace. But I'm going to start at the beginning of the URL, and then that should be followed by /cis295p/share. And then I want to match image slash, and then this is where the ID is going to be. So the ID can be any number, 0 to 9, and any number of those numbers. So the pattern for that would look like 0 to 9, any character in this set, and then any number of those characters. And then I want to match the entire ID all the way up to the end of the URL, like so. So this is going to match any CIS295p share image, any number of digits, end of URL. And then I'm going to want to know the ID in the destination URL. So I'm going to save that by putting parentheses around it. So this is going to save the ID. Then the URL I want to replace that with is going to look like this, CIS295p share test fetch image.php ID equals, and then I want to refer to this value here, and this is the first save. You can save multiple things inside of this URL. So the first save is $1. And that's it for the URL I'm producing. And then I can put some optional flags here as well. I'm going to add one for no case. So this is going to ignore capitalization when it's matching the pattern. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use lowercase here. So that will let users write my URL with any combination of upper and lowercase characters, and it's still going to match, and it's still going to produce the correct result. So that's the only rule that I need right now. So I'm going to close off my if module. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to go back to XAMPP control, and I'm going to start Apache, and good. So it started up. If I had any kind of syntax errors in here, it probably wouldn't start, and I might not actually get a useful message. So I might have to go back here and take a look at it if I got something wrong. But let's go ahead and see if it works. So I'm going to load the old one, and it works. Now I'm going to try share image 5. And I get the same result. And if I write this in lowercase, and write this in uppercase, it still works. Now, if I look at the network traffic from the browser and I hit reload here, you'll see that it thinks it's fetching a page named 5 inside of share image. So as far as the browser is concerned, there's no relocation or anything going on. It's just fetching this content, and this content happens to be an image. This is going to be true for any search engine as well that tries to index my site. It's just going to look like this is regular content. So this is different from if I had a page that relocated. So I'm going to go here back to my project, and I'm going to create another page, test redirect, and this is going to set a location header. Let's go ahead and redirect to CIS295p share test fetch image.php ID equals 5. And then if I go to the browser and I load CIS295p share test redirect.php. I see the same content, but what the browser sees is when it fetches test redirect, the response header includes a location field that tells it to redirect to this URL. And then it fetches this URL separately. So there's two actual requests going on as far as the browser is concerned. So that's how a redirect works. You fetch the first page. The first page tells you to redirect to the second page. But what a URL rewrite is doing is different. Here, I'm just fetching one page with no redirect.